you got a pub going in Australia, right?
I do, yeah.
And you put up some boxing matches and stuff. I want to bring this up, so because I saw you even did the UFC event,
Mm.
right? And I have some friends here that own bars. We call them bar. I don't know. Do you call them bars or too? But
Bars. Well, I've got a pub, but we do have bars. Yep. Yeah.
okay. So they own a couple of like sports bars,
Mm.
and they put on UFC and boxing. And there's things that they tell me. I just want to know if it's kind of similar over there. So, um, was there a difference in the crowd, that the price to put it on? Was there a difference in revenue, like in terms of when you put on the boxing or the UFC cards?
UFC crowd, they're sort of more used to, I don't know what's like over there, but over here, the UFC crowd are the ones more used to going to a bar or a pub to watch the event.
Mhm.
Boxing fans are a lot harder because they've almost been or used to now just sitting at home and watching it with friends or by themselves. So they've been the harder ones to get off the couch of the living room and come to the pub to watch it. But UFC, it's a whole, I mean, it's only been around for however long, 20 odd years, whatever. So their fan base is almost like the UFC is a type of sport where you go to a bar to watch it. But
Mm-hmm.
as I said, most boxing fans are just used to sitting at home and yelling and screaming at the TV by themselves or with their mates. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a challenge. We've only been open 3 weeks, by the way. So, but the UFC crowd was bigger than the boxing crowd. But we're trying to change that. We've got Tim Zoo in 2 weeks, so that'll be the
Mm-hmm.
test. I'm sure they'll all come out for that one. We've already had a lot of people inquiring about it, but it's not easy, man. I'm not sure what it's like over there, but pubs, especially over here, are a really tough business these days. Most
Well,
people just drink a different way. So,
so one of my friends told me, and it makes sense, right? Even a Canelo fight, he says the people show up for the Canelo fight, right? Especially here, it's a Mexican American, like 90% here in El Paso, and we're right next to Juarez, and this is so like obviously, but even the Canelo fight, it's almost just like in the arenas where like it's all empty and then everybody shows up for the main event, right? So, and the way he says is, if I put on Canelo, and not only does it cost me more, they just show up to watch Canelo and then they leave, right?
yeah,
They're like, yeah, Canelo, we're out here, beast. Like,
drink and
like
leave. Yep.
one drink and leave, right? That's it.
Yep.
And but the UFC crowd, they've been conditioned to show up
for the whole card. I do,
right?
yeah, and that is another difference. Yeah, you're right, 100%.
Yeah, which means that's not just it's one drink per fight, not one drink and leave, right? And then the more they drink, then they start, the drinks start going down faster, so they start buying more. They get hungry, they buy food. Hey, we've already been here for the whole card to stay here another hour. They stay and drink a little longer or whatever. You know what I mean? And they start socializing with people around them that cause them to buy even more. So it's all get shots, whatever it is, right? And I just think like boxing needs to do something, because is it the same over there as far as the price?
As far as putting the fights on or beer pricing?
No, just buying, like to pay for the fight. Is it more expensive for to buy the boxing one and the UFC one?
Yeah, but a fight here will cost you in the vicinity of $700 to $800 to put on in a bar.
And that's for either one, UFC or boxing?
UFC is actually more, but if you subscribe to the year, if you say we'll put on every single one they put on, you get a 30% discount. But boxing is about $700 to $800 for the Tim Zoo fights, which is pretty hard. You got extra staff, and over here the fights are on a Sunday, so you got penalty rates, all these different things. So yeah, it's very hard to make any money out of it, but we are a sports bar and we're committed, so we're going to keep having a crack.
And shout out to my friend, but he's a big boxing fan just like me, right? And he told me it breaks his heart that boxing works this way, because he would love for it to be packed for a boxing card. He would love for a card where people just show up, and the Saudi card just aren't doing it. Like there's just not an energy for them, even though they're great cards. It's kind of like that old saying, like if a tree falls in the middle of the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a noise, right? And they're dropping big trees in Saudi Arabia, but they're not hearing them. Outside of the hardcore boxing fan, people aren't hearing them, right? So like I just think something needs to be done for boxing to take back, or it doesn't even have to take it back, but just be a part of these these fights that would attract people to that type of market, to a bar, pub,
just
theater.
People just consume entertainment just different these days. And you're right about the UFC. I forgot to mention that before. You're right. When the card started, was a couple of weeks ago for the UFC, we had groups of young guys in there from the first fight with the Brock Jarvis and Thurman fight, which was a Wednesday night, by the way, which is a really weird night to have boxing. They were only there for probably the Michael Zarafa fight and then the Brock Jarvis fight after that. So yeah, but that's the challenge we're trying to to come up against now, is to get these people off the couch and into the venue and stay longer and eat and everything else, and more importantly, come back and support the pub, because I think very rarely are we going to actually cover the costs of that. By the time we have the wages and the cost of the fight and everything else, we're not going to make money, but we're hoping that it sort of balances out during the year when we get these people back, when it's not really a fight night, or there is a free fight. With Liam Wilson fight was free a couple of weeks ago as well. Right. So we had a good crowd for that. So it's just got to balance itself out. But yeah, it's a battle. But being most pubs these days are closing down, we're going the opposite and actually opening up. So we've got a bit in front of us. We're up for it anyway. Hey, before we